What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I got something very special for my producers, subscribers, and fellow hip-hop heads. I compiled a list of the top 25 greatest samples ever used in 90s hip-hop. Now, as some of you might know, I make beats myself, and I really enjoy listening to 90s hip-hop because that's my favorite era. That's the era when hip-hop was mainly created out of sampling. And what makes sampling so special, in my opinion, is when you sample a track, you get certain elements and minor details in the track that you cannot get when you create a track from scratch. So I think sampling is a very cool technique. It has been used mainly in the 90s and is still being used today, but not as often as it used to be. So I picked out 25 tracks, 25 samples that I personally really love, and I decided to share this with you. So it was not easy for me to pick out 25 tracks because there's so many tracks that I love, but I had to create a list. I had to put 25 different tracks in the list, and I'm gonna share this with you today. So the way I'm gonna do this, first I'm gonna talk about the track, the producer, the sample, the artist, and then I'm gonna play out the sample and the actual track it became. So I'm gonna try to keep it short. I'm gonna play short snippets of the sample and the track. I don't want to get in trouble with any copyright bullshit, so it is what it is, guys. I gotta keep it short, but without further ado, let's get started. So at number 25, I got a song by the great legendary Tupac Shakur. It is a song that samples Zaps Computer Love, and it's sampled by a producer named Easy Mo B. What I feel makes this song very special is he actually took two different samples, Zaps Computer Love and Sly's and the Family Stone Sing a Simple Song, and he actually blended these two samples together. The overall sound is very, very laid back, chill, kind of a party vibe type of track, and I feel this song is one of Tupac's greatest songs in terms of production and also in terms of the overall song.
Are you lonely? Don't wanna rush out, can help you if you're only. Let me touch you if I'm wrong, love, tell me.
So on number 24, I got a sample by Lonnie Liston Smith called A Garden of Peace. A producer by the name of Ski actually took a very small piano loop, which is actually, in my opinion, a very beautiful piece of music. He took this little loop and he created Jay-Z's Dead Presidents.
Shall remain anonymous, caught up in the finest shit. Live out my dreams until my heart get vowed and what we crave, you know.
On number 23, I got a sample by the great Michael Jackson, Human Nature. Most of us know this song already. A producer by the name of Large Professor actually took this song and he created It Ain't Hard to Tell for Nas. Now, some of you might know, on Nas's debut album, Illmatic, which came out in 94 or 93, I'm not exactly sure, he had 4 of the greatest producers working on his first album. So those 4 producers were none other than Large Professor, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, and Q-Tip, who were at the time the best in the game. So you shouldn't be surprised if there's gonna be a few more Illmatic tracks on this list. I just couldn't leave them out of there. They're just too good. But let's have a listen to this one first. So on number 22, I got another Michael Jackson sample, or actually a Jackson 5 sample called Maybe Tomorrow. So Wu-Tang Clan's RZA took this sample and created a song for Ghostface Killah called All That I Got Is You. One of my favorite Ghostface tracks. And what I think is really special about this one is that RZA mainly had a very hardcore, gritty kind of street style, kind of unusual style as well. But with this track, he showed that he can also make more, I guess, calm, soft, more emotional type of beats. In my opinion, that's what makes this track very special.
All that I got is you. And I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah.
Dwelling in the past, flashbacks when I was young. Whoever thought I'd have a baby girl and 3 sons?
At number 21, I got a sample by Mutume, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna just say Mutume, called Juicy Fruit. Now you might already be able to guess the sample. I'm talking about Notorious B.I.G.'s Juicy. Now the song is produced by Puff Daddy, but there's a story or a rumor that Puffy actually stole the track from another producer, Pete Rock. They happened to be in the studio together and Pete Rock played some beats or whatever, and Puffy heard something and he actually stole the idea from Pete Rock. Now you can look this up yourself. I don't know if it's 100% true, but if so, shame on you, Puffy. Either way, it's still a very, very good track and one of the greatest Biggie tracks ever.
I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Marley Marl.
On number 20, I got a song by John V. Rydgren and Bob R. Way called What Child Is This? DJ Premier took this track and he made an absolute masterpiece, one of my favorite beats of all time. Now what makes this song very special is that DJ Premier, being the genius that he is, took a very, very small part of, I don't even think it's a song, but I think it's some kind of spoken word thing. He took a few strings off of the spoken word track or song or whatever it is, and he created Nas Is Like for Nas. He also added chirping birds to the track, which is a very unusual thing to do, but it came out really dope. So let's have a listen to this one.
Freedom of jail, clips inserted. A baby's being born, same time a man is murdered. The beginning and end. As far as rap goes, it's only natural. I explain my plateau and also what defines my name.
On number 19, I got a Brazilian sample. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the name of the sample, but I'll put it in the description below because I don't want to fuck up. I don't speak Portuguese, so you know I'm not gonna make a fool out of myself. So one of the greatest producers of all time, Jay Dilla, took the sample. He actually added a Spanish guitar sample to it and he blended the two samples together and made an unbelievably good track for the Far Side called Running. Now what I think makes this song really dope is just the way the two samples combine. It's like it's meant to be. Like the way the two samples come together and then the drums hit and then the bass line is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite tracks by Jay Dilla and the Far Side.
You know what time, check it out.
Number 18, I got a sample by Ronnie Foster called Mystic Brew. This song has been sampled quite a few times by other artists as well, but my favorite version of it is definitely Electric Relaxation by A Tribe Called Quest. Now Q-Tip took this loop and he usually loops songs. He doesn't really chop it up and plays it in an unusual order. So this is what Q-Tip did. I think he was the first one to actually flip this sample. So we gotta give credit to his ear for actually finding this one, this gem of a sample. On number 17, I got a song called Bumpys Lament by, I think it's Isaac Hayes. I'm not completely sure. But anyway, Dr. Dre took this little guitar loop, whatever it is. I think it's a guitar loop. He took the guitar loop. I think he got someone to replay it and he created Explosive featuring Corrupt and a few others. And this is definitely one of my favorite samples ever. On number 16, I got a sample by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes called You Know How to Make Me Feel Good. Now, producer by the name of Mr. Delvin took this sample and created a remix for Raekwon's Rainy Days featuring Ghostface Killah. What I really like about this sample is just the overall soulful sound of it, and in the background the way the voices harmonize. It's just a really dope sounding track. On number 15, I got a song by the Crusaders called A Message from the Inner City. A producer by the name of KG took this sample and created Unity for a female rapper, one of the greatest female rappers of all time, Queen Latifah. Now, this has got to be one of the greatest horn loops that I've ever heard in my life, and you got to give credit to the producer for producing such a dope beat out of this. Now, number 14, I got a song by Sylvia Streplin called You Can't Turn Me Away. A producer by the name of Easy LP took this sample and created one of Notorious B.I.G.'s greatest songs ever.
You wanna sit low on my living room floor, play Nintendo with Seasonino. Pick up my phone, say Papa not home, sex all night.
Number 13, we got Zaps Be Alright. Some of you might know this sample already. It's been sampled many times by R&B artists, rap artists, but my favorite version is definitely Tupac's Keep Your Head Up. It is produced by DJ Daryl. He took the sample, he actually took a loop out of it, programmed drums over it, and he created Tupac's Keep Your Head Up. What I absolutely love about this sample is just the melody, the overall melody. It's a very nice sounding track, and definitely one of my favorite Tupac tracks. Number 12, I got a song by Billy Paul called Let's Fall in Love Again. Now, DJ Premier, as a member of Gang Starr, took this sample, and in typical DJ Premier style, being the genius that he is, he took a very small part of the beginning of the song and he created Gang Starr's Moment of Truth. What I like about this song, Moment of Truth, is one of my favorite Gang Starr songs. It has a very deep meaning, and I think the beat, the way the beat sounds, the way the sample sounds goes hand in hand with the lyrical content of the track.
They say it's lonely at the top, and whatever you do, you always gotta watch motherfuckers around you. Nobody's invincible, no plan is foolproof. We all must meet our moment of truth.
On number 11, I got a song by jazz composer Ahmad Jamal called I Love Music. Now, Pete Rock, when working on Nas's debut album Illmatic, took a very small loop out of this, I think it's about 7 minutes long song, and he created Nas's The World Is Yours, one of my favorite tracks by Nas of all time. What I think makes this song very special is the piano loop. It just sounds very hypnotic. It's a very nice sounding loop. It's just one of those loops that you hear as a producer and you just know you got something very special.
Yours, the world is yours.
So the hip-hop group Eric B and Rakim consist of one MC and one producer DJ. And Eric B was obviously the producer DJ. He took this sample and created Don't Sweat the Technique for Eric B and Rakim. It sounds very jazzy. It's a very good piece of music. So he took a loop out of his jazzy sample and added some really hard-hitting drums over it, which resulted in this very dope song called Don't Sweat the Technique.
Don't sweat the technique.
On number 9, I got a song by Screaming Jay Hawkins called I Got a Spell on You. Now again, DJ Premier, one of my favorite producers, found this little loop, chopped it up, and created one of the dopest hip-hop beats that I've ever heard for Notorious B.I.G. Kicking the Door. Now this just speaks for itself. I don't even know what to say about this. This is just incredibly good, again, by DJ Premier. Let's have a little listen to it.
This goes out to you. This goes out to you.
On number 8, I got The Barge, A Dream. This sample, again, has been sampled many times by different artists, not just hip-hop, but also R&B. But my favorite version has got to be Tupac's I Ain't Mad at Ya. This loop is very catchy. It kind of sounds emotional. Kind of makes you feel like thinking about some very emotional things. And that's exactly what Tupac did. He spilled everything out over this track. It's one of my favorite Tupac tracks. It's a very, very deep song, very meaningful song as well. I Ain't Mad at You by Tupac.
All the homies that I ain't talked to in a while, I'ma send this one out for y'all, know what I mean? Cause I ain't mad at you.
Number 7, I got another The Barge song called Stay With Me. Now this turned out to be Biggie's One More Chance. So again, we got Puffy working on the production and Biggie doing the rapping. Puffy took this sample and he created Notorious B.I.G.'s One More Chance. Now again, the backstory behind this track is kind of shady, because Big L actually already took this sample. He was the one who actually used it first, and Puffy again kind of stole the idea of Big L's track. You can listen to it for yourself and see what you feel, how you feel about it, but you know, it's kind of shady, but whatever. It's still a very great track by Biggie, produced by
I got that good love, girl, you didn't know. I got that good love.
On number 6, I got a song by Parliament, Motor Connection. Very funky song, and that's exactly what Dr. Dre used to love to sample. He took this loop and he created Let Me Ride back in the 90s for his first solo album, The Chronic. Now this song is just so groovy, so funky. Only someone like Dr. Dre can come up with something that sounds as good as this. It's one of my favorite Dr. Dre songs, one of my favorite samples. You have to listen to it for yourself to figure out the genius that Dr. Dre is.
Swing down, sweet Mary, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet Mary, stop and let me ride.
Hell yeah. What all the niggas saying?
So let's move to the top 5. I got a George Benson sample called The Changing World. This song has got to be one of my favorite songs of all time. It's actually Common, I Used to Love Her. Now what I really love about this track is not just the production, but also Common's lyrical content on this track. He actually was the first rapper to portray hip-hop as a female that he used to be in love with, but he kind of fell out of love with because of the way she's been conducting herself. The first time I heard this song, I remember I was just mind blown by the way he tells the story. So if you never heard this song before, you should definitely listen to it. But anyway, it's produced by a producer from Chicago, just like Common, called No ID. It's just one of my favorite tracks. It's a very special track. Let's have a listen to it.
Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop to the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop. 1, 2, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes.
Now, number 4, I got a song by Toa Tay called Tech Nova. This has got to be one of the greatest most creative sample flips that I've ever heard. And it's been produced by a legendary producer group which was named the Ummah, consisting of Jay Dilla, Q-Tip, and Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Now they've made plenty of very, very dope beats, but this definitely is my favorite beat that they've ever produced. Now what I think is really dope about this sample is that it's actually, I think it's a Japanese sample, I'm not quite sure. And there's a little melody line in the beginning of the track, and they actually used this melody line and created their own words over it, but it sounds exactly the same. It sounds like the sample is actually saying what they're saying, but it's actually saying something completely different in another language. But the way they play with it, the way they switch it up, in my opinion, is really dope. And also the bass line, I think it's Jay Dilla's bass line, I'm not sure, but I think it can only be Jay Dilla because it's absolutely amazing. One of my favorite tracks of all time, Find a Way by A Tribe Called Quest.
Messing me up my whole head, teasing me just like Tita did Martin. Now look at what you starting. Schoolboy crushing it ain't on the hush the whole world.
Now you caught my heart for the evening. Kiss my cheek, moved in, you confused things. Should I just sit out or come harder? Help me find my way.
Now number 3, I got the Charmels, All I Got Is You. This is definitely one of my favorite songs ever, period. But also one of my favorite hip-hop songs of all time. And I'm talking about Wu-Tang Clan's Cream. The sample, the way RZA flipped it is absolutely incredible. It's gotta be one of the best hip-hop tracks ever made. Now RZA took this sample, he chopped it up, and he definitely did his thing on this one. Now the way the song starts is definitely my favorite part. I don't even know what to say about this track, you just gotta listen to it to feel it, I guess. So let's have a listen to this.
No fire is too hot, no snow is too cold.
On the crime side. An old man. So then we.
Number 2, I got one of the greatest hip-hop beats of all time. You have to agree with me. I'm talking about Shook Ones by Mobb Deep. Now the sample used is Quincy Jones' Kitty with the Bent Frame. Now Mobb Deep's producer Havoc took this sample, which is actually a piano sample. Now he took a very small part of this piano sample, he created a sequence, and it turned out to be one of the coldest hip-hop beats of all time. You might know this track from 8 Miles, one of the final scenes where Eminem battles one of the other guys, and the reason they use this beat is because it's just such a fucking dope beat. Number 2, Shook Ones.
Yeah, to all the killers and the $100 billers. Check it out now.
So number 1, I got a Joe Chambers sample called Mind Rain. Now this has got to be my favorite hip hop beat of all time. Of course, produced by none other than DJ Premier for Nas's debut album Illmatic. He took this piano loop sample and he made something that sounds so dope that to this day when I listen to it, I get goosebumps. The beat is just so well put together. The way he combined different samples, put them together and made an absolutely incredible track for Nas. And the way Nas goes in on the track as well. One of the best hip-hop tracks of all time, period. One of the best beats of all time, period. One of the best samples of all time, period. Definitely New York State of Mind by Nas.
rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm I be kicking. Musician, inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface, sniffing cocaine, holding an M16. See with the pen, I'm extreme. Now.
So guys, that's it. That was my top 25 list of the greatest samples used in 90s hip hop. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below. Let me know if you want me to do more of these type of videos, because I really enjoy talking about beats, samples, music, hip hop in general. So if you want me to make more of these type of videos, please let me know below. Of course, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys very soon with the next video. Thank you for watching, guys. Peace.